Sleepy Joe should have known the answer to this question was going to be an absolute hell to the no. What is going on, my Patriots? How y'all guys doing? This is another edition of Joel Davis Media Network with your host, Joel Davis. If it's your first time tuning in and you like what we got going on, please hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell up top. Please like and share. Please like and share. At the end of this video, you know what I do normally? We got to pay homage to our sponsors. So today we're jumping into this following story, a story that has gotten everybody kind of scratching their head because I didn't even see this one coming. And this is coming from a reliable source from the Blaze. All right. Now, as you can see here from the Blaze, Governor Ron DeSantis rejects Biden's request for National Guard troops to protect State of the Union speech against the trucker protests. Now, I am going to read this story here, and then after reading the story, I will give you what I feel of the synopsis of why this went the way it went. Let's go into this. So, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said that he had rejected a request from President Joe Biden to send National Guard troops to Washington, D.C. for his State of the Union address. Biden is scheduled to give his first State of the Union speech in Congress, which is today. But there is apprehension about several trucker protests headed to the nation's capital to disrupt the event. On Monday, DeSantis said he had rejected the president's request for National Guard troops to help secure the peace. Last week, the Biden administration requested the assistance of state National Guard to deploy in Washington, D.C. I have rejected this request. There will be no Florida National Guard sent to D.C. for Biden's State of the Union, the governor tweeted on Twitter at 2 p.m. yesterday. Now, DeSantis is seen as the foremost opponent of Biden's policies among Republican state governors. Liberals laugh out at DeSantis over the tweet. Don't be surprised if your next hurricane state of emergency call to FEMA rolls to voicemail. Ron tweeted Canadian comedian Devon Green. Local and national law enforcement have ramped up the security ahead of the speech in order to head off any disruptions from protests. U.S. Capitol Police said they would erect a security fence around Congress and close some streets in the surrounding areas. At least 3 trucker convoys are expected to converge at the nation's capital to show their disdain for Biden and his policies, especially those related to vaccine and mask mandates. One of the larger convoys launched from the Mojave Desert in California on a cross-country route last week. One Democrat called on law enforcement authorities to seize the trucks from any protest and give the trucks to small trucking companies looking to expand their business. Critics of modern State of the Union speeches note that historically the address was a simple letter sent by the president to Congress. It was converted by Woodrow Wilson into an ostentatious ceremony for the sake of raising the profile of the executive branch. Now, I am about to show you a clip from Good Morning America right quick before we finish this of what kind of security that they are putting in place for the president's State of the Union address. Bear with me.
The magic is calling you to a celebration 50 years in the making, where the worlds you love shine like never before. Join us for the Walt Disney World 50th Anniversary Celebration.
And the heightened security in our nation's capital ahead of President Biden's first State of the Union address on Tuesday. Local and federal authorities preparing for protesters and possible trucker convoys making their way to the city. ABC's Ike Ajachi in Washington with more. Ike, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. On Tuesday, President Biden is expected to make his first State of the Union address here in D.C. It's also around the time 3 separate trucker convoys are expected to arrive in the district. Now, many of those protesters are undertaking that 11-day cross-country trek from California to Washington, D.C. in order to protest several issues, ranging from COVID-19 vaccine mandates to domestic oil production. Now, the protesters have been telegraphing their intentions and moves for several days now. Some expected to stay in the D.C. metro area in time for Biden's address. Others will be looking to stay for some time afterwards. But most are threatening to stop the flow of traffic in the D.C. metro area, all while the president delivers his speech to a joint session of Congress. But the advance warning has given local and federal authorities time to plan. D.C.'s Metropolitan Police is ramping up resources ahead of the potential trucker protests with increased patrols through March 5th, as well as readying 2 rapid response teams that have the ability to deploy at a moment's notice. Also, the Pentagon approving a request from local D.C. government to deploy some 700 National Guard troops ahead of the convoy's arrival. Now, local officials here have been warning residents about the potential traffic disruptions, even issuing a push alert about those traffic issues. And they're asking residents to be patient and mindful, reminding them if you see something, say something. Whit?
All right, Ike, thank you. And tune in to ABC News on Tuesday for full live coverage of President Biden's State of the Union address and the Republican response.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts.
Not a GMA fan, but whatever. And that is it. So we saw that. You've seen the security. Here is my thoughts on this. Guys, he should have known that with the disrespect that the Biden administration have shown to Ron DeSantis with him trying to protect the state of Florida, to ensure its economic growth, to ensure that the people there were financially sound during the pandemic, that he is not going to put more of his people at risk or disadvantage for some security. You that worried about security, get your own National Guard. DC has National Guard. Get them. In fact, you wouldn't have these security concerns if you would do your job. It's not that hard, Joey. Do your job for the American people. That's what we're saying. We're sick of the riffraff. It's not that we don't like you. Well, we don't like you, but as conservatives, we want you to uphold the laws of the land and the Constitution. That's all we ask for. And you are not doing that. Trucker convoy. What are you so scared of this trucker convoy? I know what you're scared of. You're scared of that they're going to force your hand like they're doing Canada right now. You could avoid all of this by just opening up these states and major cities. But y'all finding more excuses every time you turn around. Well, now you open it up because now y'all know that all this stuff going on with Russia, that you don't want to experience no other pressure from the world market. Excuse me, your local and state national market, with the international market also going through the roof. So this is once again, another show, guys, of how hypocritical and how much of a liars that our government is. It took a war and threats of insane amount of inflation to affect their wallets that all of a sudden now we're interested in opening up the city. And now you're doing a State of the Union address, which we already know what you're going to do with your State of the Union. You're going to tell a bunch of lies that we already know is false, because you're already trying to lie that the economy is doing great when the economy is at its worst. Unemployment right now for Black Americans through the roof. Crime rates in major cities through the roof. Bail reform, a failure. Criminals getting released at a rapid rate. We got women, especially Black women, getting murdered by their own people. It's not no white, visible white man with a Ku Klux Klan freaking robe talking about crap. Nope. None of that. It's Pookie and Ray Ray with two. So you tell me where we at. Your State of the Union should be consistent of how much of a failure you are and how you're going to clean up your act and make it a success. But we already know you won. And by the way, that clip of Kamala Harris that I seen where she says, you voted for Joe, the people got what they wanted when they voted for her and Joe. I thought that was hilarious. You know why I thought it was hilarious? Because that's letting you liberals know that you voted for this woman because she was Black, excuse me, Indian and Jamaican, because she ain't Black, she's an islander. Okay? And you got exactly what you voted for. The super oppression. And the only thing y'all can justify for it is, well, it's not Trump. Listen, Trump might have been a lot of things. He might have hurt your feelings on tweets. He might have didn't acknowledge stuff the way you wanted him to acknowledge it. But one thing for sure and two things for certain. When it came to you getting your money and America being looked after, he looked after America. Always. Always. Anyway, guys, jump in the comment section. Tell me what you think about this current trending story. Do you think that Ron DeSantis is wrong for not allowing the National Guard to go to Washington, D.C. and protect our tapioca eating, pudding pop, Welch's, candy eating, Depends having, Geritol complete with men-centric vitamin popping, nutrient joint popping, orange juice sipping powder ass Biden? Or do you support what he just said? I don't know about you, but I definitely support it, but that's just my opinion. But before we wrap up, we got to pay a moment to our sponsors. Guys, inflation is very high right now. People are not knowing what to do. At a high rate, things are going in and out, out and in. It is to the point now that people are trying to feel like, what can I do, Lord, to make it? Well, have no fear, because what I'm about to tell you is something that you can definitely depend on to take care of yourself and your family during this time of need. I'd like to present to you My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is one of the most reliable things right here, right now, of the companies right here, right now, that you can depend on. It has survival supplies and emergency preparedness gear, and they have all. They have all types of kits to cook on, they also have all types of meals as well. Let me show you some of the survival foods that they have. They have meat and protein. Everybody loves some meat and protein, right? I know I do. Not only do they have meat and protein, they also have meals ready to eat. All right, MREs. I know how that is if you're in the military. And if you don't want any of that, they also got fruits and vegetable kits as well. Coffee. And let me tell you what else they have that'll really blow your mind. They even got cooking gear and tools. That's right, cooking gear and tools. We're talking about the pots, pans. They even got cooking supplies. And another thing they have that a lot of people do not know about, and I'm going to show you here on this next part of this, as you go through this beautiful website. They even got a pro water filtration system. What? A pro water filtration system? Yes, they do. For emergency purposes only. If you got to get water from an unlikely source, they got things that can filter out about 5,000 gallons of water and then some. They have it all, man. I'm telling you right now. And if you don't have the money, guess what they offer? What? Man, shoot. They got a buy now, pay later. That's right. 0% ARP up to 12 months, over 90% approval rate, and it's safe and secure. All right. And you can even check that out with the firm. And a firm is, especially if you're a person that has no credit or bad credit and just can't afford it right now. And to make it all worth your while when it comes to this program here, if you do me a huge solid, go on my link in my descriptions below and click on that link for My Patriot Supply and get the biggest savings they have out right here, right now, to take care of you as my subscriber and as my members of the channel. So, with that being said, guys, please promote this. Like, share, subscribe. Fill up the comment section, please, so we can keep the algorithm going. Y'all know what it is. I'm out.